Okay, so it's difficult to explain this in text in a post or without a visual aid. So if we say that that's the rotary table and we make some assumptions that it's 100% square to the bed, that it's centered over the cutter, if the cutter 0, x and y is here, that it's centered and the offsets are lined up correctly. Alright, this being z0 and y0, okay, and being sorted out properly. Then this will always spin 100% true to itself no matter what. Okay, if that is true, then it doesn't really matter whether this, if your rotary teeth are not closing properly and this item is out by that much over there and that much over there, because if your Z is coming down to the same point each time, and we then grab both of these and we rotate them and we look at what happens to it in the flip, as long as the ring stays in the wax, the ring is still centered because the cutter is centered. Okay, so no matter what the offset is, you're still okay. You're still working within where you need to be. So in the flip, you're there. The only way for you to miss the flip is if this is so far out that you've gone out like 5, 6, 7 millimeters or more. So in this side you're making it, but when you're rolling, oops, sorry, got to roll the two together. When you're rolling, you're not actually, even in this case, you're making it. That's how far out you would have to be to miss it. It's the amount is extensive. All right. However, if this was centered, if that was at f4, but this was not centered, that's a whole nother ball game again. So there's a variety of ways that this can be out. Also, if this was out, if your Z setting is out, like that, because your tool sensor is out, that's a whole nother ball game of problems again on its own. But in my experience, your rotary teeth being out by a millimeter even, it's not a huge problem. It's not an issue. The problem comes in when you haven't dialed in your rotary over Y, you haven't dialed it in, you haven't got your Z perfectly centered, and in your Y you have yaw towards the left or the right hand side. Those are typically your biggest problems. If you have yaw in your Z and you're traveling away from it, then you would notice because your ring gets thicker or thinner over the part. But if the ring is staying a consistent thickness and the fact is you're just missing the top or the bottom, most likely it's going to be that you have a problem in your tool sensor position, testing too high, too low, and additionally having some other problem with your chuck being off center. Not sure if that's clear. Cheers.